We live in a noisy world. Every day we encounter people who seem determined to test our patience. Sometimes it's an impatient driver honking aggressively. Sometimes it's someone trying to cut in line at a store. And sometimes it's a stranger who throws harsh words at us for no reason at all. It's as if the world constantly whispers, "Let's see how patient you are this time." People are becoming more impatient, more aggressive, and more thoughtless. It's as if others' emotions, feelings, even their existence no longer matter. What we read on social media, what we see in the news, all of it seems to whisper the same thing. Patience has become a luxury. But in the middle of this chaos, staying calm, speaking gently, and thinking clearly, that's real strength. Because patience is not weakness. On the contrary, it is a sign of inner strength, self-mastery, and wisdom. Reacting with anger is easy. Everyone can do that. But remaining silent, staying composed, calming the storm within, that is something only the strong can do. And that's why acting as if nothing bothers you can be a form of true heroism. So what must one do to reach this level? What does Stoicism teach us about this? Watch this video till the end to discover the essence of this power, a power that can make you completely unshakable, no matter what happens around you. If you're ready, let's begin. Many people believe that silence is a sign of weakness, but that's just a shallow way of thinking. In truth, silence can sometimes be such a strong and deep response that the other person forgets what they were going to say. Silence is like staying calm, like the sea, even when a storm rages inside you. People who try to anger you are not really fighting you. They are battling themselves. They are trying to unload their inner emptiness, anxiety, rage, and lack of control onto you. They want to turn you into a mirror of their own despair. But the more you refuse to respond, the more they realize that they cannot change you. And that realization disturbs them even more, because they cannot break you. Not reacting doesn't mean denying your feelings. It means recognizing and understanding them without becoming a slave to them. Being able to control your emotions is a victory. Remaining calm in the face of criticism is a reflection of inner balance. Because if you respond every time someone tries to provoke you, it means others are determining your direction. But when you don't react, you remain the captain of your ship. Think of this. Does a tree move just because every dog that passes by barks at it? No, because the tree has roots. It is grounded. A patient person is just like that. They don't respond to every sound because they are tuned to a more important inner voice, their conscience, their purpose, and their silent wisdom. There will always be people who try to criticize or belittle you, but they're not revealing your level. They're revealing their own. With every word they speak, they'll begin to understand better why you remain silent. Because you now know with certainty, true strength is not in fighting every battle or responding to every insult. Sometimes the greatest battle is simply to remain calm within yourself. What does silence cost you? Nothing. But the moment you react, you give away your control. Remember this. Within silence is a voice only the wise can hear. In relationships, emotional control is the key. If you throw a rock at a dog, it will instantly bark. That's instinct, an automatic, thoughtless reaction. But as a human, you are above such reflexes. You have reason, awareness, and the ability to choose. And in every moment of tension, you have two options: to react or to remain silent. That choice is what separates you from the animal world. An injustice, an insult, or an unexpected challenge. None of these require an immediate reaction. They are tests of your patience, opportunities to grow. So before reacting, ask yourself, will my response show my strength or expose that my emotions control me? Pause and think. If your emotions are in control, then where is your willpower? Life will put countless tests in your path. Someone will try to humiliate you. Someone will let you down when you need them most. Even those closest to you may hurt you. But before you react, breathe. Pause for just a moment, because in that brief pause lies your freedom. Reacting is a momentary act, but the consequences of that moment can last for years. With just one word, you can destroy a relationship. With a single emotional outburst, you can damage your reputation. But choosing not to react or responding with thought elevates you. It strengthens you. Every person carries within them two selves. One is reactive, driven by emotions. The other is a leader, guided by reason, values, and purpose. Every moment of reaction is an opportunity to reveal which one is in charge. If you can control your reactions, the steering wheel of your life is in your hands. The words thrown at you, the stones cast your way, the people trying to shake you, these are just tests. And you win not by retaliation, but with silence, with composure, with inner depth. Because a wise person doesn't respond to every shout, doesn't dive into every conflict to prove a point. They know when to speak, when to remain silent, and most importantly, when to do nothing at all and still remain strong. Acting as though nothing bothers you doesn't mean you feel nothing. It's not about becoming cold or numb. On the contrary, it's about building an honest, intimate relationship with your inner world. It's the art of living with your emotions without becoming their prisoner. The strongest people are not those who hide their emotions, but those who understand and manage them. Appearing calm doesn't mean nothing is happening inside. A patient person may have a storm within, thoughts chasing one another, a heart beating wildly, but they do not surrender to that turbulence because they know feelings are temporary. Emotions come, stay for a while, and pass. But you, the awareness that observes them, you remain. You are not your emotions. You are the one who watches and chooses. Imagine a grand theater within you. Fear takes the stage, then anger appears. Disappointment follows, then regret, then joy, longing, and so on. But you don't go on stage. You sit in the audience. You watch every performance, but you do not get lost in any of them. That is emotional freedom, to recognize emotions but not act out their scripts. Sometimes you get angry. A word, a look, a memory can erupt like a volcano inside you. That's human. But in that moment, ask yourself, do I want to be lost in this emotion? Or do I want to understand what it's trying to tell me? That question is your answer. That question transforms you from a participant into a silent observer. No one can say mastering emotions is easy. No, it may be one of the most difficult and honorable battles a person can face. But remember, true strength is not in conquering others, but in ruling yourself. To stand calm in the middle of your inner storm and whisper to yourself, I'm here. This too shall pass. That is the voice of a leader. That is the voice of wisdom. The people around you may not understand your silence. Some may interpret it as weakness. But you know, your silence is your fortress. It is the shore where you stand firm against the flood of emotions. Not everyone will grasp your depth, but if you understand it, that alone is enough. Live each day with this mindset. Every emotion within me comes to teach me something about myself. I do not fear them, but I do not surrender to them either. This is a quiet yet magnificent revolution. The choice to embrace inner stillness. Imagine someone arguing with a barking dog in the street. It's a ridiculous sight, isn't it? That's what it looks like when you respond to those who target you. Try to drag you down or mask their own emptiness by belittling others. Their voices may be loud, but their words are hollow. And you are under no obligation to build a bridge between empty words and a meaningful response. Sometimes people will try to corner you with a false choice. Respond or you're a coward. But the truth is, silence is not cowardice. Silence is the strength of knowing you don't need to respond. Choosing not to disturb your inner balance is not weakness. It is the defense of your inner order. And that inner order is your invisible shield, protecting you from arguments that do not match your level. You cannot spend your life reacting to every voice that calls out. If you turn your head at every shout from the sidelines, you'll lose your path and your direction. Sometimes the wisest move is simply not to look back, because even turning around can be a form of validation, and you know yourself too well to hand your worth over to just anyone. Silence is also a mirror. When you say nothing, others are left to hear the echo of their own voice. And often, their words dissolve into thin air or drown in their own emptiness. When you speak, attention shifts to you. But when you remain silent, they begin to see themselves. and many are terrified to face the reflection of their ugliness in that silent mirror. One of the most important lessons in life is this: protecting your energy is a responsibility. Not every battle needs to be fought. Not every opinion must be proven. Not every criticism deserves a reply. Sometimes, the space you retreat to in silence gives you greater clarity and a stronger position. Never forget, you express who you are not only by what you say, but also by what you choose not to respond to. And sometimes, not replying to the thorns thrown your way is proof that they don't hold enough value to wound you. Learning to remain silent, protecting your energy, refusing to lower your standards. These are not the ways of the weak, but of those who truly know themselves. Never underestimate the quiet ones. They have walked through vast silences. In a world drowned in noise, they've learned to hear the voice within. Their silence is not weakness. It is the aftermath of storms, the echo of the battles they've survived. It's as if they've grown a mountain within themselves, a mountain that does not tremble with every passing wind. Inner peace is not just about staying silent. It's about recognizing your emotions without fighting them, and observing what's happening around you without reacting emotionally. It's the ability to face an attack without retaliating, and instead, seeing the fear hidden within those words. Life will test you a little more each day. Unexpected events, confusing relationships, people who challenge your patience, wounds from the past. But if you protect your inner calm, then you're no longer spinning with the events. They begin to revolve around you. And in the midst of that chaos, you become the steady center point. People may get angry, panic, and make impulsive decisions, but the more you remain calm, the more they sense a strength within you. Because silent strength is deeper, more lasting, and more impactful than loud force. Stillness means carrying a mountain-sized willpower inside. To govern yourself is far more difficult than governing others. And that's why very few reach this level. Inner peace is like having everything and needing nothing. That power gives you freedom, because now you live by choices, not reactions. You don't fall apart with every tremor. You make decisions not based on others' actions, but on your own values. Sometimes the strongest people appear to be the quietest. They are silent, because the war within them is already over. They've come to understand that the real victory is overcoming oneself. The person who has conquered their anger, fear, rage, and ego is no longer a prisoner of anyone. If your silence shifts the atmosphere when you enter a room, that is power. It is the authority of someone who has conquered not just the outer world, but their inner world as well. And there are very few people like that in this world. Your silence in the face of provocation doesn't show the other's strength. It shows your level. Silence is not fear. It is the voice of self-trust. Yes, there will be those who try to unsettle you, provoke you, pull you into their games. You already know this. They will keep setting traps to drag you down to their level. But each time you stay calm, refrain from reacting, and feel no need to defend yourself, you show that you haven't forgotten who you are. In truth, the more you remain silent, the more elevated you feel. Because the highest peaks hear no noise, there is stillness there. There your breath comes from deep within. There you meet yourself. Acting like nothing bothers you doesn't mean being indifferent to everything. It means choosing not to react to everything. It's a reflection of what you truly consider important. If you respond to everything that disturbs your peace, one day you'll lose the ability to respond to your own inner stillness. Anyone who can't anger you cannot control you. What truly governs you are the emotions that slip out of your control. But if you can master yourself, no one else can master you. Your real strength lies in your ability to choose how you respond on any stage, in any moment. Their words say more about them than they do about you and your silence. It's a manifesto of power, written in a language they cannot understand. Inner freedom is one of the rarest forms of strength in this world, because it cannot be bought. It can't be earned through praise, titles, or status. This kind of freedom is born the moment you know yourself. When you understand that what you leave, unanswered often, speaks louder than any response. And maybe The strongest person in the room is the one who speaks the least, yet is heard the most. So if you want to act like nothing bothers you, you must first learn to know yourself. You must learn to observe your emotions, to understand the instincts behind your reactions, and ultimately to protect your own inner calm. The moment you gain the ability to choose how you respond, you become free. And that freedom makes you unshakable in the face of critics, provocateurs, and those trying to drag you down. The more you understand that silence is not weakness but elevation, the stronger your foundation becomes. As you observe your emotions in silence, you begin to feel that they do not rule you. You rule them. The less you respond to every noise, the more your energy flows into things that truly matter. And in the silence where you discover your true power, you reach a level where even those trying to harm, you realize it's useless to even try. If you master this, observing yourself, owning your emotions, seeing power in silence, refusing to respond to every voice, maintaining your inner stillness, and never lowering yourself to others' levels, then nothing will be able to disturb you, because you will no longer be a slave to events. You will be the master of your responses and choices. Pretending not to be bothered won't be a performance. It will be the core of who you are, and one day, your inner peace and freedom will become your greatest weapons. Even in a world that constantly changes, you will remain unwavering, a person who holds stillness like a mountain in the storm. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. See you again soon.